There is a shocking pump taking place in the markets right now. It's absolutely unbelievable. Sadly, it's not for cryptocurrencies, it is for precious metals. Silver jumping to $71. I think it's going to go a lot higher. Gold hitting $4,500 per ounce. The silver pump and continued silver pump we mentioned 1.5, 2 years ago here on this channel, but quite recently, 9 days ago, or in fact 12 days ago, I
About
interviewed
another
Carl and we spoke about the next big thing, and we highlighted that to be silver and why silver is going to go a lot and a lot higher. So we are seeing a massive surge in precious metals, a continued massive surge in precious metals. But when we put it in relative to Bitcoin, relatively, Bitcoin is seeing a significant dump, whereas gold is continuing to make new all-time high after new all-time high. What does this all mean? What does it mean for the future? I mean, for the macro context, is Bitcoin going to catch up? Or is this divergence worrying? That's what we will discuss on today's update video. We also have some breaking news. Make sure to destroy the like button and subscribe for daily price updates. This is probably the most boring time in crypto. I mean, when a crypto YouTuber starts talking about precious metals, it's like capitulation of sentiment, but it's also a good thing. It's a good thing. The only hardcore fans that are watching these videos and the hardcore traders and analysts, you guys are going to make it, where most people will only jump in when Bitcoin and altcoins are at all-time highs. You're here during the dips, so you will be able to buy in cheap, whereas most people are going to buy the top. So you guys are the real winners, and I'm very proud of each and every one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching these updates. We'll talk about gold and the macro view with Bitcoin, but let's jump into the short term very quickly before doing any of that. Bitcoin is consolidating. It's waiting to see its break. Decision time, like I mentioned, is Friday. Worst case, we go into Monday, maybe Tuesday, but we should see decision time coming in very soon. I see a lot of people giving the fractal between gold in this is the 2012, I think, 2013, somewhere around that range, when 1 ounce of gold was 1,200. Now it is 4,500. Gold was also forming a big downwards trend. And then you had the same sort of setup, triple E bottom, you break above, and then you retest and you go to higher levels. Bitcoin is forming the same sort of fractal, right? I see this on crypto Twitter a lot. It's simple. You don't need to overcomplicate it. If we can break above 91.8, great news. Then I think 107 is next. If you break below 84,600, then unfortunately you'll probably dump another $10,000, $11,000, $12,000 and collect liquidity from April 2025. It's as simple as that. No need to overcomplicate it. And when we talk about the correlation of Bitcoin and gold, they do move in quite good correlation. The thing is, Bitcoin has only been around for so long, and precious metals ever since Bitcoin's existence, right? So Bitcoin was created 2009. From 2011 until 2025, precious metals like gold, right? Precious metals like gold and precious metals like platinum, like all of these things that are pumping, even silver, they've basically done nothing, right? They were all creating this huge cup and handle pattern. And I think, platinum has been consolidating since 2011 too, so is gold. I think the most interesting thing is that silver was creating the same cup and handle, and, silver has been doing this since the 1900s. The point I'm trying to make is that precious metals, comparison to Bitcoin, can't be made with great amounts of accuracy because you've done mostly nothing for so long for these precious metals, whereas Bitcoin on its log scale, and you have to measure it on the log scale, I mean, it's just incomparable. It's just incomparable. You can't make the measurement. You sadly can't make the measurement. It's just different. It's just really, really different. You can't do it. At the end of the day, Bitcoin is still a risk-on asset, whereas precious metals are considered more as commodities. I know that legally Bitcoin is a commodity, but the way that it's traded, it's much closer to the S&P 500 than it is to gold. And one day it is going to become the gold. It's going to become the new gold. People will start hoarding gold or Bitcoin instead of gold. But until that day arrives, we trade more like the S&P 500. Thankfully, the S&P 500 is experiencing a move upwards. We have that double top, but we will invalidate it if we can go above the prior all-time highs with 2 daily candle closures to the upside. Then instead of doing a double top, we would be doing the following pattern. The double top was an interesting take, but today we got some good GDP data. So the markets are bouncing on good GDP data. We have to break above this upper line of resistance for the S&P. Otherwise, you're going to continue falling down and play the scenario we did last year. Let's see if the S&P can continue moving, then maybe Bitcoin can surprise us with a Santa rally. Ultimately, I think we're going to reach the 200 daily moving average, so it doesn't matter if we're going to do it now or later or whenever it is. I think we're ultimately going to go to the 200 daily moving average. I know so many people are impatient and very bored, so I do hope for most people's sake that we end up breaking to the upside much sooner rather than later. Remember, in 2021, it took Bitcoin going into March of the next year to be able to go back up to its 200 daily moving average before seeing that rejection. This was a very boring time in crypto as well. So hopefully we can see that move upwards sooner rather than later, and we don't get forced to collect liquidity at 74. Most people will capitulate if that ends up happening. In terms of breaking news, I think we're just going into it's so over and we're so back constantly. It's just a battle of going into it's so over and then we're so back, and then it's so over and we're so back. The reality with the fundamentals is that there's so much bullishness happening. I mean, Trump media, they bought 40 million in Bitcoin. We got a brand new CFTC chairman sworn in, and in his swearing in speech, the first speech he's ever made, or the first official statement he's made, he's highlighted the US becoming a crypto capital of the world. And the ex-CFTC chairman, she was the temporary chairman, she went to MoonPay, a crypto company. And the new chairman is now saying that the crypto market structure bill that's going to segment what is a commodity, what is a security, what is a meme coin, legally with Congress approval, allowing more institutional capital. That bill, according to the new CFTC chairman, is ready to be presented to Trump's desk for signing next year. So when you look at the fundamentals, right, BlackRock, the largest asset manager in the world, mentioning that the biggest investment this year was Bitcoin, fundamentally, things are ridiculously bullish. Things are ridiculously bullish. The only issue is that we're not in the expansion phase in the business cycle, and it's going to happen next year. We're going to start to go into an expansion. They're going to print a bunch of money. Do we see a big drop on Bitcoin before ultimately going to the upside in Q4 of 2026? That's something that time will tell, but don't focus on that so much. Focus on the conclusion. Conclusion is Q4 2026, we should be going back towards the upside. 2027, 2028 should be ridiculously good for risk on assets. And then what happens after, I don't know. We don't know. But my opinion is that 2027, 2028 will be good. And we will see expansion in the economy. We will see an expansion. It's just a matter of time. So why get so upset about price? And because price isn't pumping, all of this good stuff that's happening fundamentally, no one seems to care or talk about. They only talk about these things, and people only get excited about these things when prices are pumping. Good, prices are pumping on good news. Amazing. It means that the macro is just going to be amazing. It's going to be great, and you have a discount. You have a buying opportunity at lower levels. I think it's a blessing. I think it's a blessing. And I know, we all know that eventually Bitcoin is going to take the #1 spot. Right now, it will take time. It will take a lot of time for that. But we will get to #2 much sooner. Gold is at $31 trillion of market cap. When I checked in earlier this year, it was around 20 trillion. So you went up a drastic amount in market capitalization within 1 year, like 30, 40%. Silver went from 9th place up to 4th place. Bitcoin is still 8th place. Times will change. People will move on to the newer asset. It will take time. It just takes time. And one thing I will end off before closing the video, I want to mention Ethereum. Ethereum is something that I'm a little bit scared about. If we end up breaking below the neckline of this head and shoulders pattern on the daily time frame, I said it on the Moon Show, but I'm going to take profits on my week's account and open orders to buy up Ethereum lower at around 1.7, 1.8, and I'll tell you if I do it. And if we do see that break below, I'll make a video stating that I'll be taking profit. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel, destroy the like button. If you want to start trading, the link is down to Weeks, which is where I'm currently trading, to sign up, create your account in around 40 seconds, and then you can also start trading Bitcoin and crypto. I wouldn't go with only one exchange. I would diversify the amount of exchanges that I use. I use Bybit, I use Weeks, I use Coinflare, I use Pinex, I use Binance, right? I use a bunch of exchanges, OKX, and I only put money that I'm willing to lose into exchanges, and I withdraw it immediately back into my own hardware wallets once I am done trading. Guys and girls, thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Tomorrow's Christmas Eve. To everybody celebrating Christmas, Merry, Merry Christmas. New Year is coming up soon too. Try to spend some time with family. Crypto is cool, crypto is nice and all, but there are more important things like family and friends and health. So give time to those things as well during this festive season. Spending time with family and friends is also an investment. It's also a profitable, productive thing. So don't think it's a waste of time. It's definitely not. But thanks so much for watching. Take care. And as always, bye-bye, guys.